We are live, kids, and welcome back to another episode of Raina motherfucking Teas. Now, before we get started, if you are interested in spiritual consultation, in tarot card readings, in spell work, in witch boxes, in charged and dressed candles, and any other questions concerning magic, witchcraft, and the occult, please check out our description down below for our Big Cartel website. Okay? So check that out. Now, let's get it started. So, today I want to talk about this interesting topic that I've been seeing people bring up over and over and over again on the internet, and I just had to make a video about it. I don't know how long this video will be. I don't know how much I'm going to speak about it because it's like, I don't know, but it's this whole like, you are your father's seed, or you are whatever your father is, as far as like your race, or your nationality, or whatever, even your entire genetic makeup. You know, I've been seeing a lot of people on social media say this. Oh, you are whatever your father is, and it's a crock of shit. It's utter bullshit. It's ignorance, is what it is. And come to find out, this information is from the Bible. So people are actually believing this. And you know that yesterday we did a video on um, Easter, and we debunked that as a lie. Now we're going to talk about this today, which is another fucking lie from the Bible. You are what your father is. And people in 2019 are speaking this bullshit and perpetuating lies on social media. You know, that's one of the many things that I hate about social media, is the lies that are being just created and distributed freely on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. Since everyone has a voice, everyone with internet access has a platform to speak, just like I'm doing right now. But this means that anybody can create any type of information and put it online, and there will be groups of people that will gravitate towards this and take this as truth. You know, there's entire websites that make fake news, that create lies, and a lot of people will post this and um, just perpetuate this, or just get it like in the social media rounds. Because I'm not active on Facebook, but I used to be, back like maybe 7 months ago, and farther back in time than that. And I would see these stories that I'm like, what? And I would look it up and shit like that, and then find out it's from a fake website. But I'm an investigative type of motherfucker, so I investigate, I ask questions, I like to dig in deeper, to find out the hidden truths. That's just the type of person that I am. But a lot of people aren't, and they take things for face value, and they end up believing it. And I feel like this "you are your father's seed" shit is one of those things that you're told this, you believe it, it's being perpetuated on social media, and people are believing it because it makes sense to them. Okay? And let's not forget that the Bible is a patriarchal book. It is centered around man. It is about God being a man. Jesus is a man. So of course they're going to say that you are whatever your father is. Women are less than in the Bible. These are facts. So this book was written thousands of years ago by people who had no idea about genetics, about biology, about a sperm or an egg or what happens in the womb. They didn't know anything how we know now. And the fact that people are believing shit from a time when motherfuckers didn't even read or write. Most motherfuckers didn't. And they like, come on now, them compared to us, like, you're gonna believe what they believed back in those times when humanity was still like trying to grasp onto what the fuck was going on in this world. Like, I it's just crazy to me how people believe things and don't question things. Now listen, I'm not a biologist. I'm not a scientist. Well, I may be a spiritual and a magical scientist, but I'm not a biological, a physical DNA biological scientist, but I do know some things, like common sense things, like the sperm of a man is only half of the DNA of what can make a human. You need an egg, which is from the female, and her egg has her DNA in it. Like, how can you completely erase her DNA and just expect what? Like, her egg is just an empty vessel and his fills it up? First of all, sperm is not a seed. I'm going to repeat that. Sperm is not a seed. We are putting names of other things like actual seed to things that don't, that are not that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so sperm is not a seed. Because I was seeing comments, people were like, oh, if you plant an apple seed in Mexico, it's gonna be an apple's tree. If you plant a seed in Egypt, it's going to be an apple tree. If you plant a seed in Australia, it's gonna be an apple tree. So it's like, it doesn't matter where you plant it. A apple tree or apple seed is gonna make an apple tree or whatever. So they were trying to like say that, but you cannot compare a seed which is planted in the ground. I know that the earth has DNA, information and shit like that inside of it, the soil, but it's not the same as an egg or a sperm. Like, the ground on the earth does not make up half of the DNA of that seed. That seed already comes prepared, and it needs that water to hit it or whatever, however the fuck seeds open and grow, all of that. But you cannot compare that to what happens in a womb and in a man's nuts. I'm not a biologist, but the sperm, it's not a fucking seed. Like, you got the little thingy at the top, the little head, and then you have the tail. If I'm not mistaken, that tail only is propelling that head. All the information, all the genetic information is on the head. The tail is just like a a separate entity that is attached to that its mission is to just like, swim. Like, that thing, that flagella or whatever it is, like, that is that is what is moving the head where the genetic information is. But it's not like, oh, it's alive, or like, I mean, it does have life in it, but it's not alive like you and me. You know what I'm saying? That flagella, I feel, is only carrying that seed that seed is not connected to, you know what I'm saying? Like the head is not what is moving the tail. That's what I'm trying to say. The head is not what is moving that tail. That tail is moving on its own. That is like what it is created to do, is to do that. So it has that head attached to it. Because when that head goes to the egg, which is the same thing as what's on the head, like that head of the sperm has genetic information just like the egg does. Okay? And when the egg of the man, well, because that is kind of like an egg too, like the head and the egg, like they can be in my mind, like they're like the same thing but of the different genders. You know what I'm saying? Because the man and the woman, in a lot of ways, their internal organs are the same but just reversed. Like the woman is internal and the man is external. But when you look at the testicles of a man, they're kind of like the same as the damn, what is this shit called? Like the ovaries of the woman. The nuts of the man is the ovaries of the woman. So the sperm is made in the testicles, and if I'm not mistaken, the eggs are made in the ovaries, right? So it's very similar. So that egg is the equivalent of the sperm head. So they are equal as far as like what they are in power and in life. You need both. One is not more important than the other. They are both. If we're gonna say that the fucking sperm head is a seed, then so is the goddamn egg. That's not a fucking egg, then that's a seed too. Okay? So it's just a combination. Like once it combines, once the head meets the other head, okay, then the genetic information is combined and then it mixes, in there, and the cells begin to divide and the baby starts to be made, or the fetus. Now, speaking of mixing, how does it make sense if your father is a European white man and your mother is a African woman, that you as the product of this union are white when you clearly physically have African features? And in this world, how you look is how you are categorized. So how would a mixed race person who clearly would not look like a European, a indigenous European, would walk around here saying, "Oh, I'm indigenous European and I'm white," and things like that? No, you're both your parents, and you look like both of them for a reason. You came out with features of both of them because you got both of their genetic information. You didn't come out a spitting genetic biological image of your father. You came out with features of both parents. Okay, so I don't understand why people believe this. You are your father, or you are what your father is, when clearly and genetically and biologically you have information from both parents. And it's not even a lot of times 50-50, because it's not going to be exact. Sometimes they may be 51-49, and the 51 might be from your mom and the other may be from your dad, or maybe you might have like a little bit more of your dad than your mom, or a little bit more of your mom than your dad's. There's actually a person on YouTube, a YouTuber who um, is half Malaysian and half indigenous British. So his father is a white man and his mother is Malaysian. When he took his DNA test, he came out 48% European. Okay, so he actually has more of his mother's DNA inside of him. And physically, he looks more Asian than European. If you saw him, you would think he's just an Asian man, but he's actually, a mixed race. So how would he go walking around Europe or in this world saying, "Oh, I'm indigenous British, I'm white," when physically he has overwhelming Asian features? And look at that, genetically, he's more of his mother's DNA than his father's. He has more percentage of her than him. So how is it that you are your father's, you are where your father is, or you are what he is? That is some patriarchal, ignorant bullshit. And the fact that even women are saying this, because I've seen some women saying this, like, come on now, sis, do your research, look up basic biology and reproduction or reproductive information. We need to let go of this seed shit. The sperm is not a seed. If that's the case, the female egg is a seed as well, because they both carry genetic information. They are both the equivalent of each other. They just have different ways of doing what they do to get where they need to get. But they are both biological information, batteries or just storages where when they meet, honey, that is how a human gets made. But both are needed. It's not just like if the egg is an empty vessel, like an empty just, circle, an empty, and then you just like the sperm just fills it with its DNA and whatever scraps are left, you just get something from your mom. No. And that was a spirits right there. You get from both parents, both of your parents' DNA. You need both of their DNA, and you are both of them. Genetically, you are both of them. You may identify however you want to identify and call yourself whatever you want to call yourself, but genetically, you got both of them in you. Okay? You are not what your father is. You are what your father and mother are. Genetically and biologically. Whatever you want to call yourself after that, that's on you. But y'all need to let go of this like perpetuation, and it's this Bible shit. It's this Bible, the lies. Let go of the lies, people, wake up. And I bet you, somebody will listen to this video and they'll still believe that you are what your father is. Well, I think I said what I wanted to say. Let me know what you guys think about this. Do you guys believe this? Do you guys believe that you are what your father is, that your mother's DNA has no importance, that the egg is just an empty vessel with no genetic information? It's not the same as the head part of the sperm, which also has genetic information. It's just, yeah, it's all about the father. He, the man can make himself. I mean, what else are they gonna say? That men are going to like birth themselves? And you know what's funny? In the future, they are going to be able to take the sperm and turn it into an egg. Doctors are working on doing that so that gay couples can have children that are genetically theirs. So the husband, or not even the husband, one of the partners will give the sperm, and then the other partner will have his sperm turned into an egg and then use a surrogate so that their DNA creates a baby. And I think that's beautiful. Like, I would do some shit like that if I was in love with my life partner. I would do that. I absolutely would. So, yeah, guys, let me know what you think, and I will see you on the next one.